Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, here at Minor League Esports on the MLE Esports Network. I'm your host, Nigel Tornbrake. This cast brought to you by APM Music, and joining me here in the booth today is going to be Sporty. Sporty, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. This is what a way to get the stream started. We got some incredible matches today, and I mean we're starting off with a banger. I think really Wolves Puffins. Who could have asked for any better matchup?
Absolutely. So this is going to be Champion League. It's doubles. We have Puffins and the Wolves. Looks like it's going to be Live Sauce and Little Wolf versus $5 Vodka and Yoko, at least initially here, as soon as we get this lobby rolling. I don't have the stat sheet pulled up in front of me. Happen to have that sport.
I don't actually,
We'll
unfortunately.
get to it there. We'll get to it as we get along here. We're just about ready to get the lobby underway here. Sorry for the delay. It took us a little bit of technical difficulties and staffing difficulties to get folks this week, as we'll talk about a little bit throughout the broadcast and the production. Expect to hear more about that later when we have Andy and myself bring at 8 o'clock. But here we are. It's 7:17 Eastern Time. Like I said, Wolves Pub and CL2s, and we're just about ready to get underway.
Yes, we are game one of five. I'm excited for this series as well. Again, you said twos. Twos, I think, is always interesting because, in a set of five like this, because for most of what I've seen a lot of best of five, but set of five is such a different mentality overall. Because it means even when you get those 3 wins, it's not over. It could still be a close series, and you got to put in 100% every single game. Any game you lose, it's not nearly as impactful as it might be in a best of five, but every game itself, you got to put in all the efforts. You can't slack. And here we go, best of five, and already an early start for the Puffins as $5 Vodka from the sidewall with an air dribble to get things going. Only 7 seconds in.
Excellent control, and really just starting off with a bang. You can tell that the Puffins really wanted to start off with some early momentum and make a statement going into this series. 1-0 Puffins, 4:53 left in game one.
Exactly, and already, again, you talked about it, a good start for the Puffins, getting themselves out, showing exactly what they're made of here, but back the other way go the Wolves, shot on, saved by $5 Vodka, and now a dunk. Wait a second, it's still going upfield here, but it will be saved away. Yoko, infield, $5 Vodka, and look at this pressure from the Puffins. They are not letting go, looking at each other, passing, getting the ball in front of that net. They're trying to make life chaotic here for the Wolves, and they're definitely succeeding in that so far. But the Wolves will find an answer here from Lil Wolf. I can't believe this, but it went through the midfield. And $5 Vodka did not get a strong touch on this. In fact, a little too relaxed there on defense from him, and Lil Wolf will take advantage.
Yeah, it looks like, honestly, just a bad case of too much spacing, getting caught in no man's land there, and the ball just went right over his shoulder. $5 Vodka not able to make really any sort of touch there. So here we are, we're equalized, 1-1, 4:22 left in game one. Live Sauce takes an air dribble out to the sidewall, gets a pinch, sends it downfield, but Yoko waiting on the backboard, trying to keep possession, but the Wolf not interested in letting him do that. Challenge in the corner, $5 Vodka taking it back up the corner, trying to get away from now the Wolves. Look like they're trying to take a page out of the Puffins book and just keep pouring the pressure on the Puffins side of the field. Unable to get anything going, though, and the Puffins managed to get the counterattack here, getting settled in on the Wolves side of the field.
Yeah, so far it does feel quite even from both these teams. They both have their opportunities on offense. No one really taking full control. A lot of times in these series, you see kind of game one where one team is just out and out the better team. But right now, I don't think we're seeing that here at all. I think we're seeing both these teams prove that they're just right up there with each other. They're even in what it takes to kind of be the stronger team here, and no one really winning because of that. I think this 1-1 scoreline reflects that perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're just waiting to see, even though, we had a little bit of a firecracker start there from $5 Vodka. I think both teams are still in the feel each other out phase. And while Vodka's going to miss a pretty difficult save there, trying to take it to the backboard, doesn't quite get the touch that he wants, actually doesn't get any touch at all. Live Sauce with a monster flick from midfield goes in, and the Wolves go up 2-1.
A great flick there from Live Sauce, using those 1v1 mechanics, I'm sure, to just get the flick, and it was a high flick as well. That's why he couldn't reach it. It doesn't have to be a fast flick if it's up that high, and there's no way Vodka can get to it. Now off the back wall again, Vodka, big challenge here as well. Live Sauce did it the first time where he flicked it over. Again, he's testing $5 Vodka's mechanics backwards, and so far, $5 Vodka has not been able to pass the test. Live Sauce has just did the same thing over again here.
Right. Yeah, we see exactly the same setup where he gets it over $5 Vodka's head, and then again, Vodka's not able to make that touch, get the ball out to safety. Really just nothing going for the Puffins there. And it's a quick 3-1 now. 3 minutes left to play in game one, though, so still tons of time. Tons of time for the Puffins in particular to get settled in here. It'll be interesting to see how they try to counter response to this quick attack from the Wolves.
Vodka off the back wall in front for Yoko. And Yoko, we really haven't said his name much. He's been quite quiet in this game so far, but now puts his name on the scoreboard as the Puffins still not giving up. They persevere. And now they're only 1 goal away from tying up this game. Quite an eventful start to the series.
Yeah,
If I say so myself there, Nigel.
I agree. It certainly has been eventful. I mean, we've had 2 minutes and 12 seconds now, and we've had 5 goals. A lot of them coming, I mean, honestly, 3 of them coming within the last 30 seconds of the game. So a whole lot of offense, not a whole lot of defense so far, which isn't necessarily typical of CL2s. You often see a lot of folks play a lot more offensively at this level. So interesting to say this for sure. We'll see who can actually manage to either start playing defense or really just run away with the offense. Puffins trying to keep the pressure down. Yoko taking it to the backboard. Gets it over Lil Wolf. Live Sauce taking it out to the sidewall, though nothing doing. There's no pressure there from Live Sauce takes it to the air again. Has a good air dribble, but both the Puffins are back. Really no pressure there. Easy clear. Yoko down back to the air. Gets a flip reset. Unable to use it to do anything, Lil Wolf gets the big clear. Now has possession down on the other side of the field. Live Sauce with a huge dive, and Vodka with an easy clear, and it just sort of rolls all the way down the other side of the field and into the net.
Yeah, you talk about the offense here, both these teams not being really all that afraid to push up, but in that position, Live Sauce should have recognized that there's a player waiting in the backfield that's going to get to it before he can even get a chance to jump for it. But instead, he takes the decision to try to jump into a play that he probably shouldn't have, and the Puffins are going to tie this game up. After being down by 2 goals now, it's a 3-3 scoreline, and $5 Vodka is looking extremely scary as looking for a third. Vodka! Oh, it's right in! And it's the Puffins who have now just scored 3 goals unanswered.
Absolutely. So the Puffins making a comeback here. Go up by 1. Really a nice shot. Nice slot from Vodka there, all the way from the corner. And the story of the game continues to be the story, right? We're seeing a ton of offense. We're seeing almost no defense. We're seeing, I don't know if it's just poor spacing from both teams in the second man, if it's just a complete lack of communication defensively, but nobody seems to be able to stop the ball from going in their net at the moment.
Yeah, I think you pinned the series exactly how it is. It's just everybody pushing up everywhere. Yoko, open net. That will be an 8th goal this game, and we're still not in the final minutes. I feel like I have to stress that there's still well over a minute left in this game, and we've had 8 goals scored. The Puffins lead by 2, but honestly, that's not a very big lead when everybody seems to be scoring whenever they feel like it.
Absolutely. At this point, I would not be comfortable with a 2-goal lead with how this game has gone so far, although it is 4 unanswered now for the Puffins, so if I'm the Wolves, I'm starting to be a little worried. Finally, we see a good little bit of shadow defense from Live Sauce, and Lil Wolf gets a big clear, but hands it right back to Vodka, who's waiting in the net. Good 50 in the corner. Puffins, Yoko won't get there. Live Sauce trying to get it around him, but good challenge on the sidewall. Free ball in the middle, Lil Wolf picks it up. Vodka again with a challenge. Big challenge, goes all the way down the side of the field. Vodka trying to put one on. Live Sauce says, no sir, not today. At least not this minute. Lil Wolf with a great clear here, and it gets behind Vodka again, although he's able to recover this time.
Yeah, and I think right now the big threat of the field here is $5 Vodka. He is putting in the offense. And even on a play like that where Yoko has just gotten his 3rd goal this game, $5 Vodka has been the assist maker on 2 of those goals from Yoko. He has been everywhere. He's even got a savior medal with 3 saves. $5 Vodka dictating how this game will go. And right now, he's dictating it in favor of the Puffins.
Absolutely. We're just seeing, honestly, great presence of mind there from Vodka to just get off of the backboard and get up and get that touch around the second man defender from the Wolves. And Yoko obviously having a good presence to get down the field for the pass. Wolves now have 20 seconds left to get 3 goals. Looks like they might have one here, but no, Yoko gets back just in time. Just enough of a comes down off of the ceiling now, just trying to clear the ball out, run the clock down. 10 seconds left now. It's looking less and less likely like the Wolves are going to be able to capitalize on any sort of opportunity. 5 seconds. Countdown coming to an end. It looks like this game 1 is going to go in favor of the Puffins.
Yeah, $5 Vodka came into the series with a vengeance. I don't know who hurt him before this series, but whoever it is, they've just given him so much power because he got involved with almost all the goals the Puffins scored. And if Fyodor Vodka is playing like a maniac like he is in this game, I assume that we're going to be seeing him continue that kind of presence here with the Puffins, as the Wolves are going to have to find a way to shut him down.
Absolutely. And I think the way that it's going to have to work out for the Wolves is they're going to have to remember how to play with the proper spacing. They both have been, I don't know if it's stream jitters or if it's just, they're not used to playing with each other. I haven't kept up on the Wolves rosters throughout the season here, but they're definitely not doing a great job of having spacing that allows you to keep good pressure from the top on the second. And so that was a lot of what we saw the goals coming out from, especially from Vodka, just really having the ability to get a strong clear out the backboard and boom, have an excellent offensive sort of out of rotation, out of position um, at that midfield. So
Yeah, I think you
we'll
said
see
it
whether
correctly.
the Wolves can make an adjustment here. Can they have a stronger presence in the midfield? Can they have a stronger presence defensively? 10 shots versus 9 shots out of both teams really was an offensive heavy game. Will that be the story of game 2? Just about to find out.
Yeah, and I think saying the shot specifically tells you exactly what it is. That game was still quite close, in my opinion. I mean, both these teams had ample opportunities against each other. Both these teams kept attacking each other. It was actually quite even with the scoreline being as it is. I think just Five Vodka just took this one and ran away with it with the Puffins. But I think slight differences there on who's playing what and who's playing when, and we could be seeing the game be a lot closer than what it actually showed on the scoreline. I expect that these games are all going to be quite close, but yeah, as you said, the Wolves need to pick it up on defense, going to need to pick it up in the midfield. And if they're able to do that, they might be able to find more holes through the Puffins' defense.
Absolutely. And I think we're really just going to be looking to see what sort of adjustments the Wolves are making. Lil Wolf having a strong presence already in the midfield, which is what we like to see. Coming again off of the sidewall, trying to keep the ball in there for offensive opportunities. Live Sauce diving, though, second man, which is what got them into trouble the last game. So we'll see whether that's going to continue to be punished or if the Puffins are going to let it slide.
Well, the thing about challenging for a second man like that, it's actually quite simple on when you should or shouldn't challenge the second man. You should only challenge whenever you know you can win the ball. Simple as that. If you don't think you're going to win the ball, don't challenge the second man. It's too risky, and a lot of times in 2v2s. They go for something where you might just get a 50-50 out of it. So if he's going to challenge for anything, it has to be things that he can win, or where he has to challenge, whereas if it's like in the final seconds. So we'll see. Again, the decision-making of these teams as Lil Wolf. Was it very high life sauce gets to this one, though. Yoko leaves a little bit of boost. Live Sauce around the nets, looking for a Lil Wolf on the back post. And a great play from Live Sauce. He could have very easily thrown that one at the net, taking his chances. Instead, knows that he has a player on the back post waiting for him, and he looks exactly for him. Great pass, great play, and a great way to get the scoring started in this game.
Absolutely. It was really a great read from, was it Little Wolf making the shot there? Noticing that Yoko was really slow out of his rotation out of the corner there. So he knew that he was safe making that second man down. Something that I'd like to see more out of Live Sauce. But we'll see whether the Wolves can continue this momentum or if the Puffins are going to have a quick response. Live Sauce tries taking it to the air, goes for a little fake, and just gets a little joint touch over Yoko. Vodka's still in net, though, able to come up with the ball. The Wolf coming from the back is able to get in front of it, so Vodka's attack is stopped. Puts one high from Yoko. The Wolf has to immediately jump up and put it back. And we're seeing the Wolves get a little bit out of sorts. Finally, they get a big enough clear that they can regroup, catch their breath, get boost. And the big pass, big shot from Lil Wolf, not on target.
Yeah, right now, again, this game is slowing down tremendously from their last game. But still, the same people proving to be the ones leading the charge. $5 Vodka. Great timing, actually. I was going to just talk about him and how he needed to get himself more involved in this game, but he does just that here. A shot, a goal, it's simple, it's easy here for $5 Vodka. And this game is tied up at 1.
That's right, 1-1, 2:53 left in game 2 here of the series. Good to see $5 Vodka doing his thing. Nice little mechanical 1v1 play against Wolf in the corner. Wolf had kind of done a little bit of that boost over ball and went to go get the corner. They trusted Live Sauce to get the challenge, which didn't work. Big 50 there from Yoko. Live Sauce unable to get anything going here. The Wolf will continue to try to pound the backboard, get something through the first man of the Puffins defense. So far, nothing doing. Live Sauce, though, has a flick, and the fake bump from Lil Wolf is enough to put Vodka off of his line there. 2-1 now for the Wolves.
Yeah, great play there. As Lil Wolf going for the bump play. Catches $5 Vodka, having to be a little worried about the fact that someone could jump in on him, but Live Sauce's flick is really what made it there. And the Wolves will take the lead here in game 2. But still, a lot of time left on the clock for both these teams, and if you know anything about these teams, they could definitely put in more. Yoko on target. The Wolf couldn't get to it, and it is the Puffins right off the kickoff to answer.
What a great shot here from Yoko. And I don't know if it's just hey, I'm trying to pepper the net and get them awkward, or if he really knew that Lil Wolf was going to be awkward there immediately off the kickoff. But either way, the result is the same. 2-2 here, 2 minutes, 19 seconds left.
Live Sauce. Right off the kickoff. Maybe we see another kickoff goal here. Live Sauce has control, but now he's lost it. Yoko clears it the other way for the Puffins. Yoko challenges Lil Wolf. Vodka up with it. $5 Vodka to the corner. He's looking for the second touch. We'll get it. And he has the boost as well. $5 Vodka running laps around the defense. Oh my, $5 Vodka. What a beautiful play. Off the corner. Gets the second touch. He just 1v2'd the Wolves.
Absolutely. What an excellent touch, and with just really excellent presence of mind there from Yoko to just stay seated in that second man position until Vodka was able to get his way through the defense. The Puffins taking charge here. 3-2 now with a minute 55 left in game 2. Saying to the Wolves, hey, we see your adjustments, but as I'm saying here that the Puffins take charge, a completely free ball all the way back on the other side of the field, and it's a wide open net, and all Live Sauce has to do is drive it into the net. 3-3 now. I don't know. At this point, it's anybody's game. Like, the Wolves not ready to back down quite so quickly.
No, they won't go down quietly. And again, the pressure from the Puffins here definitely does have its limitations. The Wolves are finding plays back. Here comes Yoko. Break the defense. The Wolf up, goes back down to Live Sauce. Live Sauce tries control, tries to put it on target, but he couldn't direct it there. And now the Puffins gonna go the other way. Lil Wolf towards the net. Yoko couldn't get to it. And the Wolves take the lead with less than 90 seconds remaining.
An excellent challenge here from Lil Wolf. He notices that Yoko is kind of cheating up, expecting Vodka to get a big boom. Yoko's playing the pass. And Lil Wolf says, not if I have anything to say about it. He gets it just over Vodka, and that's all he needs. Just a doink touch. The 4-3 now. A minute 28 left to play in game 2. Lil Wolf will take charge. Try to take possession of the ball up into the air. Unable to, though, because Vodka bumps him off of it. Live Sauce with an aerial attack. Yoko immediately up to stop it. Lil Wolf again, trying to get a shot from way up top over the crossbar. Nothing doing. Not on target. Vodka will just simply possess the ball and take it out. Now he's going to look for a bump as Yoko tries to get a shot back on net. Lil Wolf able to dodge the bump and get the challenge on the ball, though. So right now, Lil Wolf really kind of putting on a show in terms of possessing the ball and keeping the Puffins' attack at bay. Something that they were not able to do.
No, exactly. That's why this game is so much closer here and currently in favor of the Wolves, but they're still looking for more. Lil Wolf gets a dunk here. Oh my goodness, Yoko caught the save there. He was in the right place at the right time. He definitely wasn't prepared for that. But now he gets the clear, and it's going to favor the Puffins here. Yoko was fortunate on defense, but he uses that fortune to create offense and create gold. And this game tied up once again.
That was honestly an excellent 15-20 seconds worth of play out of Yoko. Just to be there, to read that play all the way past to see that Vodka was likely going to get beaten and was going to bounce underneath him, to make that save, and then to get that nicely timed challenge to bait Live Sauce in. Really an excellent play.
Now the flick clear. Jumping onto it is $5 Vodka. Bouncer. Vodka trying to get the pinch. The Wolf. The Wolves are now on defense. Yoko trying to get through Live Sauce. Puffins. Now they're the ones back. No boost here for $5 Vodka. And now he's going to be on his own back wall in a really precarious situation. I think we might be heading to overtime here unless the Wolves can get one more dunk play. But that's not in. Still searching. The Puffins. They'll keep it up. Vodka just has to play the dribble game here, but he gets demoed by Live Sauce. And this game will go to overtime. One goal can decide the winner of this one.
Really like the presence of mind from Live Sauce to go for the bump and the demo on Vodka, because he saw that Vodka had just picked up the full boost and was taking possession of the ball up into the air. It would have been hard to stop. That was the best time for him to just get out there and get aggressive. Vodka now being aggressive here in overtime, trying to get it through on the corner. Yoko puts a shot on and catches Live Sauce backwards in the net. I'm a little confused here. Like, Yeah, Live Sauce was just turning around at the back post there and drove backwards into his own net away from the save. So there you have it, 5-4 in game two. The Puffins take game two as well. Now they're up 2-0 in the series. Almost looked like
Yeah.
the Wolves were ready there, though. Like they had made a good enough adjustment. Looked like they were ready to take the series or the fight back to the Puffins for the series. Letting it slip away there, though, in overtime, that's always crushing. So, big question here is: are you ready? Do you have the capacity to fix your mental, to stay strong, and hold to the adjustments that you've made, and try to continue finding your way next to the series win, or do you let it fall?
Again, yeah, we'll be moving into game two very shortly. Are you excited for it?
Oh, I'm absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of quality Rocket League that we just love to see here. It's what we do. That's the reason why we're in this casting booth. Again, it's why we do what we do here in MLE. So I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether the Wolves can pull one out here. I think they have the skill. It's just a matter of whether they have the mentality and whether they have the grit right now to force themselves and say, look, we're down 2, but we can still win the series. I think they can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Again, 3 games left in the series. Now, again, the situation is now on the Wolves. Can they, once again, prove that they can continue to make those adjustments, or do the Puffins continue adding more already? The kickoff, that one almost on target. Puffins want to keep taking these games, but they are close. That's the thing about them. They're close, and so the Wolves are going to have to really put in that grit, that determination, and be able to put in that little extra effort here in these next couple games to take down the Puffins. Although, oh no, that will go in. 5-door vodka, giving credits, but it will be Live Sauce with that last touch.
Absolutely, that's an own goal 100% of the time. And like we say here in MLE, we take those. Just an unfortunate touch. Trying to get a doink. I think looked like Live Sauce was trying to take it to the backboard, but going all the way over the crossbar and just didn't get it out enough.
Offense again for the Puffins. How much do they have here? They add more. They add more to their lead. The Wolf towards the nets. Yoko clears it away. They get past Live Sauce, but the Puffins having to reset a little bit here. The clears getting met by a Wolves defender. As now 5-door vodka calls for it. Bumps along the way. In front, Live Sauce. Off the sidewall. Yoko. Yoko with it towards the net, but he can't put it on.
Really like to see the way that the Wolves are working right now. An unfortunate touch earlier from Live Sauce puts them down 1-0, but we're a minute into the game. They're more or less keeping this game controlled here, not letting the Puffins develop into the kind of style of game that they like to play, which is heavy possession from vodka, and then either waiting till just the last moment to dive in and take a shot from Yoko or some physical play. And so far, we're seeing not a whole lot of either, and a nice little physical play from Live Sauce there as he bumps off Yoko. Wasn't really necessary, though. Wolf had that all the way to the net, and all he had to do was drive it in. Huge overcommit from Yoko there.
Yeah, a bit of an overcommit here. The Wolves, they get right back. It does seem like the Puffins, when they go up for offense, they sometimes leave their backfield a little too open. And I think that's something that the Wolves have definitely recognized, but it doesn't happen often. They're going to have to create more chances for themselves than the other way around. As the Wolf off the back wall. Live Sauce saved by 5-door vodka. And the Wolves are again pushing on more, although whatever was happening in the corner there, the Puffins will win it. 5-door vodka downfield. That will be 2-1.
So now we see the opposite, where we've seen an overcommit from the Puffins result in a quick counterattack, wide open net for the Wolves. Now we see a big overcommit from the Wolves, and the Puffins immediately respond. So this is looking a lot more like game 1, where it was just overcommit after overcommit after overcommit, just with 9 goals on 19 shots across the entire lobby. We'll see. Will this one turn into another shootout, or will the Wolves and the Puffins both recognize their mistakes and stop leaving themselves quite so overcommitted?
You'll see. Again, that's a good question to ask here, and I'm sure the Wolves are asking that exact same question as Yoko. Cleared back by Live Sauce. The Wolves. Again, it feels like both these teams are really meeting their matches here in the midfield. Every challenge going back and forth. There's really no one who's clearly in the lead, although Yoko takes it up. Oh my goodness, he gets a little pancake there, and he actually went for it, but Live Wolf will catch him, and now back the other way. Puffins, though, stops it. It's 5-door vodka. 3 for 3. He is just unstoppable right now.
Absolutely. And to be fair, like we've talked about, the Wolves are really just lining him up, timing him up with great chances here. This is just a solid overcommit from Lil Wolf as the second man there. He tried to get out and had to make a challenge there, and instead chose to fake, and Vodka just had an easy shot on the net.
Vodka off the back wall, Lil Wolf. I love the reaction there to get to that one. He knows that Yoko is waiting right behind him. Yoko always is kind of waiting behind 5-Door Vodka's lead. And whenever the ball goes to him, Yoko, he'll make the most of it.
Gotta love it when that bump works out and you can stop the attack. Yoko really is somebody I'm expecting to have a bigger presence here for Vodka, just doing all the work. Or really not doing much of the work, if we're honest, because we talked about it's really just been a matter of the Wolves leaving the net open and not having enough pressure at the right time. Live Sauce trying to do what he can, though, getting a little mechanical there at the midfield, trying to just have a presence, take the ball away from the Puffins, and make it a little easier on his team. And then Little Wolf had to commit at midfield. Yoko gets up, Little Wolf's back in time, Vodka can't put it on, but boy, was that one close. Time and again, we see the Wolves overcommitting.
Yeah,
Little Wolf will
unfortunately.
take this time down the field, sorry.
No, it's all right. Again, I think you mentioned it. Oh, what a pass! What a shot from Live Sauce. That is absolutely perfect.
This really was excellent. This is an excellent touch from Lil Wolf, and this is really some excellent presence of mind and some positioning from Live Sauce just to be there. Yoko just doesn't have the time to read that. He's on the wall. He's maybe not using the stick to scribble down and look for where Live Sauce is. He's watching Lil Wolf way up in the top corner near the ceiling. We'll see if they can pull anything else like that off. Live Sauce with an immediate play all the way almost to the ceiling. Looks for the double tap, doesn't get it. Super difficult angle to get there, though. Lil Wolf trying to keep the pressure. Yoko's able to squeeze by the bump, get a big clear, can't put the shot on that.
And right now, again, currently game 3. Puffins lead by 1, but they're still looking for one more just to get themselves an even bigger lead. That was the chance for Yoko, but he doesn't put it in. He instead smushes it against that front post. And now the Wolves the other way. Towards the net, Yoko doesn't read it. No one can get it here. And now 5-Door Vodka, second touch, has the dribble. Gets around Live Sauce, gets bumped as a result though. And the Wolves trying to get themselves back up into offense. Live Sauce, challenged by Yoko. Pinch play, the Wolf gets a play on it. The Wolves scrambling on defense though. They need to get the ball upfield. Live Sauce in front of the net. Yoko, everybody commits in for the Wolves, and they get away. And that one is gonna go saved by $5 Vodka. Oh my, the Puffins have been able to escape here, but they're still on defense. That one pinched away. My goodness, back and forth action, and yet no goals have been scored.
What a fake. Oh my goodness. Live Sauce just absolutely sent Yoko flying. The Wolf now trying to get something going here, but Vodka says no. Live Sauce will try to get maybe one more attack for the Wolves. Little Wolf here in midfield takes a shot, but Vodka's there. Clears it pretty easily, trying to keep it up in the air. Still in the 0-second drill. Live Sauce can't quite keep it up, couldn't get the ball on top of his hood there. That means that Puffins take game 3. That means the Puffins take series win now. It's 3-0. But as previously mentioned, this is a series of 5. This is not a best of 5, which means, as always, we play all 5 games. So we will continue on here for game 5. And the Wolves will try to maintain or try to regain some of what they've lost here, because a 3-2 or a 2-3 is far, far better than an 0-5 as far as the standings go at the end of the season.
Yeah, they've definitely done better. Later, as the series goes on, and they're definitely getting better. I can see that from them. Again, it feels like the Puffins still are just a slight edge ahead. And again, with 5-Door Vodka, if he's shooting 3 for 4, it's very tough to stop a player who's just feeling that good.
Absolutely.
And so, for the Wolves, again, their job, I think, is to shut down 5-Door Vodka. Shut down this player. He is running around you. He is taking laps. You got to be able to stop him from being as aggressive, as offensive as he has been.
Yeah, and I think that, like I mentioned during the game, I think the major adjustment that the Wolves need to make is to be mindful of their overcommits. We've seen it 3 times in that last game. All 3 of the Puffins' goals were on Wolf overcommit, which led to poor challenges from the second man or even just downright open nets. So if the Wolves can clean that up and they can not leave their net completely open, they stand a chance of taking this fight to the Puffins. See Yoko versus Lil Wolf on the kickoff. Lil Wolf can't get back to it in time and is just going to let $5 Vodka walk the ball into the wide open net.
Yeah, in this one, the issue here is Live Sauce went for boost off the kickoff. Now, it's not something that you focus on in 2v2 kickoffs. it's generally stated that you should always go for the cheap play on the kickoff, and you can see he got caught out there. That's what happens when you don't go for it. But now they are cheating up. Oh, and it's still going to go against them here. A bad kickoff leads to another bad kickoff, leads to a second goal for the Puffins.
Well, at this point, you have to sit down and have a talk with yourself or with your twos teammate here. It's already 2-0. The game's already getting away from us 10 seconds into game 4. We need to do something. We need to change what we're doing. Maybe we just need to relax and not let the pressure get to you. Just focus on playing twos. Just playing the kind of game that they want to play. See what they can make happen here. It seems like somebody's gotten into their heads. And, you know, the 50s aren't going their way. Kickoffs aren't going their way. And again, we're seeing wide open nets and easy shots for the Puffins.
Well, you know, I think one of the factors for it is them knowing that they cannot win this series anymore. They are, you know, they've just lost 3 games in a row, but they have to pick themselves up. There's still a lot of time left here just to get games here. Because ultimately, losing to the Free is a lot better than losing 0-5. I think we can all agree on that. And so they have to be able to take this game and reset and just think of it as like a new series entirely. That's generally what I've heard from a lot of teams, is that you just got to think of these games as like completely separate. Have the series completely out of your mind. And if they can do that here for the Wolves, I think they can maybe pick themselves up here from their rut, as this series and this game specifically, you said it, is starting to get away from them here. But they can make offense. Lil Wolf, the midfield, shot on, Yoko gets to it, but the Puffins sitting on defense. Live Sauce gets to the near post. 5-yard vodka keeps that one away. And you can see the Puffins now sitting back further and further. This one, Yoko, how in the world did he get to that one? The Wolves have tried 3 separate times to get to that net, and every single time someone is waiting for the Puffins.
Yeah, the Puffins really managing to keep their composure under pressure here. We're seeing really just a solid defensive rotation. They're able to stay on their boost. They're able to let each player in turn take his turn on the defensive touches. Ooh. Although every once in a while, Yoko's really got to get up there, make an excellent play. This time it's Vodka who makes an excellent save. Live Sauce trying to keep the pressure coming, makes a double tap out of the corner, but not really able to get it anywhere useful for Lil Wolf. Lil Wolf will get it over Vodka though, and it's a 2v1 here. But Live Sauce will peel off from the advantage numbers that he has there, turn back, and then give the ball away in the corner, and Yoko will again hit an open net.
Live Sauce here. Wanted to hit that one to the sidewall. He should have instead taken it to the corner. We would have had more space, more time, and even a full set of boosts there that he could have taken. Instead, that touch goes nowhere. And the Puffins now lead by 3 with about 3 minutes left. They are, again, controlling this one. It feels like the Wolves starting to really lose their mentality here. It feels like this game starting to become kind of the effects of them. They put in so much effort, and yet still the Puffins are just being the stronger of the two.
Yep, and it looks like, you know, we're seeing that the Puffins are able to hold up defensively. They're able to continue to get the Wolves to have to play more and more aggressive to try to open up their defensive gaps just slightly more so that they can get a goal on. Like right here, Lil Wolf, an excellent touch, excellent pass from Live Sauce, and Vodka, I think, was just slow back. Yep. If we look back there, Vodka just arrived to the net as that pass was going on. Really no chance for him to save that. But Wolf with an excellent read on the play. It's the shot through. Like I said,
yep, that's at least something for the Wolves, you know. You know, I think that they need that. They need that. That's off the back wall. The Wolves still pushing. And it feels like now, you know, look at this. They already seem so much more confident now with just 1 goal.
They're definitely seeing more confidence out of them. But the Puffins still seem to be pretty unfazed. Oh, man. Yoko gets it right past the second man. Unfortunately, he already had too much momentum going past the post. Not able to put it through. And the Wolves will throw it away to the backboard. Puffins will also throw it away from their backboard towards the Wolves' backboard. Nothing doing, though. And we've played ping pong for a little bit, but no real threat of opportunity for either team so far. Live Sauce, though, trying to make something happen. Yoko having none of it in the corner. The Wolf trying to get over him. Vodka take his turn in turn. Get a good 50 on Live Sauce out. Now it's 1v1 Wolf is first Vodka. Wolf with an excellent 51 here to avert the threat that is Vodka and Live Sauce. Excellent shot here. Great pass from Lil Wolf. Catches Yoko a little bit awkward as he's trying to shadow from the corner. Does get the boost, but gives up the ball. And Live Sauce with a great bounce touch. Gets it underneath him. And now it's a game. Minute 18 left, game 4 here, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, the Wolves, climbing back from a 3-goal deficit now, only one away from making this game all square. They have every reason to do it too, but 5-star Vodka gonna give them something to look about here, as that one, Live Sauce tried as hard as he could to catch up to it, but ultimately, in the end, he will come up with nothing. It's 5-star Vodka to put another one in for the Puffins, and all the momentum the Wolves made, well now, that has started to come crashing down here in Game 4.
They definitely love the presence from Vodka to notice that the Wolves were awkward on defense, and just to get the touch in there. Wasn't, an amazing shot or a, top slot or anything. That was an amazing shot.
That's incredible.
Wow, Yoko. What a great touch. This is amazing. Getting up there, getting just the right air roll to get to the corner of the car on the ball. Not all the Wolves can do. Both of them are sitting in net, and all they can do is look at that. What a great shot. So it's 5-2 now. Minute and 2 left. 4. Wolves trying to get anything going here. Vodka with a big bump, though. Yoko will take that big clear, but he'll kind of throw it right back to Live Sauce. Wolf will push it out, but again, seeing a lot of ping pong, and the Puffins are definitely ready for it. They're always keeping that second man pretty far back once the Wolves get a hold of the ball. Yoko trying to get an air dribble. Wolf will get a decent clear. Live Sauce not there for the second 50, though. Wolf cannot get that touch out, and it'll just end up dribbling back in.
Game 4 has now been secured by the Puffins. They're looking to sweep their opponents here, and honestly, they look like they might be able to do it. The Wolves, again, they had those 2 goals. They look like the confidence was coming back to them, and immediately as soon as that happens, the Puffins give them a warning here, and you can see just more and more goals, more on offense. The Puffins are just putting the Wolves here in a vice grip, and they're not letting them go in front of the nets. The Wolves, maybe anything. They just want something to go for their way at the end of this game. Live Sauce. Dribble. Saved by Yoko. In front of the net. Lil Wolf. Shot on. Gets it through. And that's another goal for the Wolves. While it might be too little too late, they really need something. Again, it feels like right now this game is them trying to get themselves back up to a confident level.
Absolutely. I think at this point you just sort of have to get a goal across to build your momentum from 5. You have to try to stop the sweep. You have to just try to get out of your own heads and get something to happen and show that, you can score on this team. Over and over again, we've seen in this series. Now, I think this might be the second game in the series to go 6-3 in favor of the Puffins, but still, the Wolves can put the goals up when they have the opportunity to do so. So, Puffins win game 4, 6-3, and they're 4-0 in the series now. The threat of a sweep is imminent. Is there anything that the Wolves can do here to stave off the sweep?
I mean, you can see, look at how many shots they put in, and look at how many saves the Puffins put in. 8 saves, 6 exactly from Yoko. I mean, for the Wolves, I think they honestly just need to go for bumps. Because if Yoko and Vodka are saving all these shots, you just gotta bump them. You gotta get rid of the defense. They're not able to shoot around them. They're gonna have to go right through them. Literally, get car-on-car contact, get a bit dirty in the game, and maybe they'll find ways to break through the Puffins' defense a little more easily.
Yeah, physical play is often a good antidote for when a team just has too good of a defensive rotation for your team to break through. Be interesting to see if the Wolves will try to pull that tactic out. We have seen them use it from time to time here throughout the series, but as we've talked about quite often, it leaves them incredibly vulnerable to the second man overcommit. Puffins have shown an excellent ability.
And now, Game 5. We're just about ready to get there. The Puffins only 1 game away from a sweep, going 5-0 tonight. What a result that would be, but they still have to get 1 more game against the Wolves. The Wolves are going to try their hardest to at least get, at least take something, a consolation game for themselves here in this series, and this is their time to do it. Do they make any more adjustments? Do they make any more changes? This is their time to throw everything at the Puffins and see what will stick. For the Puffins, we've seen the success they have. They're looking to keep that up.
Well, we've already seen one adjustment. Lil Wolf making an adjustment from the Octane to the Fennec for Game 5. We'll see shortly here whether that's going to have any sort of impact on his impact on the game. Going up for a good shot early. Not able to get it there, though, because Yoko immediately there for the ball and able to make the save. The Wolf, though, and the Wolves overall seem like they're having a much easier time applying pressure to the Puffins here early on in Game 5.
Yeah, but it is only early on. We need to see them do this consistently. They might, you know, during these games, they've had moments where they've been on offense and they look really good. The problem is they haven't been able to do it often enough. And you can see the Puffins are just a lot better at putting on that pressure and a lot better at capitalizing on it. Their defense is also just taking a whole new level in this series. And the Wolves are going to have to find ways to break through that defense. You have to do it by consistently applying pressure. Again, in my opinion, I think they have to put in more bumps.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think, speaking of bumps, Yoko gets absolutely cleaned off the map there by Wolf. Live Sauce, oh no, was up looking for the pass. It looks like Live Sauce just stops in the net. You can tell, I think just said to himself internally that this series is chalked. He's not looking like his mental is in a really good place right now, but the show goes on. There's still 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game to play. Live Sauce takes a shot, but right at Vodka, who is waiting for it in the net. The Wolf trying to make a play there to kind of keep the momentum going and bring it right back around. Leaves himself awkward. And neither Wolf is able to get in front of Vodka's shot there from reasonably short range. And Puffins go up 1-0.
Puffins do. It's $5 Vodka. Again, when we talk about his impact at the start of the series, I think we should continue talking about how he continues to do this over and over again. This is not a one-time thing from $5 Vodka. He does this again and again where he just inserts himself into the play, and you can't shake him off. And the Puffins really utilizing $5 Vodka for everything he's worth. Another one! Another goal for Vodka! He just cannot be kept away.
A human clip reel. At this point, Vodka, how many goals has he scored throughout the series? It's got to be somewhere in the 15 to 20 range already. Speaking of clips, don't forget to put into the chat exclamation point POTW with the instructions on how to clip for the main stream and support your favorite players and try to get them on the list for the weekly clip of the week contest, wherein those players can, whoever will actually win the competition, will win themselves a case of Paul's Verona. And one other reminder, we have ways for you to support all of your favorite teams from MLE with our new merch from Guardian Pro Line. You can use exclamation point Pro Line to get all the details on how to get merch to support your favorite teams.
Well, again, show support. Right now, the Wolves, they're going to need as much support as they can because this game, just like the last one, is starting to look a bit scary for them. $5 Vodka, that's his third. A hat-trick for $5 Vodka. And the Puffins, again, looking like they're going to be the ones on top.
And that's honestly just a little miss there, and probably an overcommit from the Wolves. But Vodka has just been relentless. He's just got an excellent ability to read the field and see what the defense is giving him. And the Wolves, unfortunately for them, have just left not one too many, but quite a few too many openings. Vodka is pounding. Yoko trying to get something going here, but Live Sauce says no. The good 50. Vodka going up for the 50 in the air. Didn't really need to. Used all of his boost to get there. Trying to stay somewhere grounded near midfield. Yoko with a solo play there, trying to get a little Doomsy dish. Vodka will pick it up here in the corner. Good fake from Vodka. Drawing Little Wolf out. Drawing Live Sauce out of net there. Little Wolf not able to be back in time to cover the net, but thankfully the ball wasn't going that way. Trying to get it out here, but Yoko will continue the attack here for the Puffins.
Yes, the Puffins now through the midfield. Wolves, maybe one back, saved by Yoko. And $5 Vodka with an open net, and you won't be seeing him miss those anytime. Yoko's gonna steal it. Why not? Yoko getting himself on the score sheet in any way possible. As he'll steal $5 Vodka's goal. He's saying, you already got a hat-trick. I'm gonna say, I gotta make my own here. And the Puffins, 4-0. They are, again, it feels like this game's gonna go on and on for the Wolves. It feels like the longest game they've ever had. And unfortunately for them, there's still a lot of time left here. They're just going to try the hardest to keep themselves going here in this game, even with, you know, everything looking so grim as it is.
What an excellent pass there from Live Sauce, but the Wolf, unfortunately, had already peeled off from the play, was headed back to try to pick up boost. Nothing doing for the Wolves there. A scoring opportunity wasted. Live Sauce with a double attempt. Ooh. What an angle! Now that
was nasty
right
from
there.
Live Sauce.
This is excellent. Speaking of, remember I was telling you exclamation point POTW in the chat. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do in order to get a clip from the stream into the weekly clip of the week contest. I would say that's a pretty good candidate there, Live Sauce, because that was clean.
Yeah, that was amazing. And Live Sauce, he might try to do it again. Oh, he almost did. $5 vodka keeps it out. Only let him double tap once. As now
Excellent
a bump play. Wolves trying to put on some aggression. I think they just want they want something. He'll put on a double tap of his own. Why not? We got a double tap clinic in this game. No one letting each other go here. And I mean, Yoko is just saying, I'm gonna do it myself. It's like a one-up kind of battle here. I love this.
That was pretty good. And it was unfortunate because Wolf had a really clean bump on Yoko. They're trying to open up the net for Live Sauce, but Live Sauce just a little bit too far to capitalize on the open net. But that one's just going to go in off the kickoff. So, like we've said earlier in the series, we take those. You know, the Wolves aren't going to complain, especially being down now 5-2 instead of 5-1. But 43 seconds left, and like you said, there's still a lot of time left. There's still a lot of Rocket League, so definitely not too comfortable of a lead yet for the Puffins.
Yeah, again, they're going to be looking to make sure they just secure everything here on defense. As the Wolves have like a new burst of energy at the end of this game. I don't know what's changed, but again, I feel like they want to end off the series well, I think. And even if they go out with a loss, they want to make sure that they are recognized somewhere. And now, demoed. The backfield, $5 vodka dunked by Lil Wolf. Final seconds ticking. Puffins will win this series in a sweep, but again, credit to the Wolves. It never really felt like they were always completely out of it, and a lot of these games were really close. But ultimately, the Puffins will take us. All 5 games are theirs.
And there it is. Series is a wrap. Puffins will sweep the Wolves in CL2's 5-0 as the players filter out there. Really, it was $5 vodka's day. I think that's the way that I would describe this series. Like we said throughout, that, you know, the Wolves were just making a handful too many mistakes, just leaving themselves the holes in their defense just slightly too big to be covered. And Vodka was just absolutely relentless and merciless in punishing every mistake the Wolves. Really just wasn't your day if you're either of those players.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Again, what a strong performance from $5 vodka. What a strong performance from the Puffins. You'll be seeing them with a sweep this time. What a series, really.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of Rocket League that we always try to put on here, although normally we're looking for the series score to be a little bit closer, but definitely each of those games was close, and it was the kind of action-packed Rocket League that we love to see here on Minor League Esports. So, it's 8:03 now, which means that we will be back very soon for the next series in the tonight's broadcast. But for now, for Sporty FC, I'm Nigel Thornbrake. See you later.